When people move from one society to another, they may have different problems, particularly when they migrate from one country to another. They may face many problems economically, socially, and also psychologically. To discuss the psychological problems which immigrants may face, today we have with us a famous psychologist, Miss Natasha Shaukat, with us, who will throw light on some kinds of problem which people with immigration background may face. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program, Natasha.
Walaikum assalam, and thank you so much, Sayyida, for inviting me for this helpful session. I
Uh,
hope it will be helpful for immigrants across the world.
Natasha, what kind of problems people can face when they move from one society to another? Like, can you throw some light on the problems that immigrants may face?
I believe that immigration or immigrants may face many problems, especially psychological stress, when they move to another society where they have not lived before. The environment, differences in culture and social values, ethics, norms, and lifestyle of the host society, and the culture from which these people come. All of these factors can be a major cause of psychological and emotional behavioral issues among the immigrants while they try to integrate themselves in the host society. They may suffer with migration or immigration stress or depression, which is a typical mental health condition that affects immigrants as the adjustment or to adjust a new culture and environment.
Do you think that women and young people face some peculiar problems when they move to different societies?
Yes, of course, while any immigrant is prone to psychological issues as a result of immigration process, women and young people may face particular problems with adapting and integration that may lead to trauma, exclusion, isolation, racism, discrimination, and poor living and working conditions. These are majors. Then, as result, yes, of course, they may experience distress, for example, feelings of anxiety, sadness, feelings of worthlessness, helplessness, and hopelessness. It may even manifest physically with body aches and pains, fatigue, restlessness. All this may lead to emotional problems as well, anger, irritability, especially when interaction with host societies people, particularly for women. They may struggle with gender roles, cultural expectations, and family dynamics that differ between their own culture and the one other they are now living. Similarity for young people who are a crucial stage of their lives in the term of defining themselves. The result or in the resulting identity conflict may result in feelings of isolation and confusion. Confusion is a very critical and crucial condition for the young people. This might also be paired with possible discrimination and bullying. I will again say bullying and the difficulty in navigating society norms and peer pressures. These two factors are very important for youngsters and teenagers, especially.
Do you think that the different conditions, different cultural conditions, and social expectations affect the emotional quotient of immigrants when they are trying to settle down in the host society?
Yes, basically, uh, first we should define what is EQ, emotional quotient. Basically, EQ is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive way. Your emotions, my emotions, or all human emotions. In positive way to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, diffuse conflicts, and adapt to new situation. Now we are talking about especially new situation. So we can say the productivity in life is not only determined by IQ, but EQ plays a significant role as well. The ability to work well under pressure, forming interpersonal relations such as those with friends, teachers, or colleagues, and effective communication skills can be worked out if one has high levels of emotional intelligence and self management skills. So, when immigrants face difficulties in host society like language barriers, especially language barrier, I'm pointing out here language barriers, housing problems, access to medical services. These are basic needs, and cultural differences, raising children, prejudice, racism. Obviously, all these factors will affect their emotional quotient, and as the result, they may not be able to adjust in new society and environment because they if they are suffering with trauma, anxiety, and depression, their EQ automatically will not respond accordingly.
Yes, I totally understand that these problems can happen and these problems can be faced by everyone who has migrated to another society, and particularly women and young people are more vulnerable to these kinds of problems. Do you think that psychological help or counseling can be helpful in resolving these issues that people with immigration background face?
Yes, Sayeda, this is a much studied topic, really. Whether counseling makes a difference and actually helps immigrants. And the answer seems to be yes, of course. Whatever the reality of the immigrants' mental and psychological condition, counseling and moral support is the first step which can be helpful in addressing all the issues we discussed above to boost morale, address cultural adjustment, identity conflicts, and self esteem issues. Self esteem issues are more important. It can help them develop better emotional intelligence and coping skills, which in turn offer which in turn offer tools to manage stress, anxiety, and associated feelings of inadequacy of guilt.
Do you think that a psychologist or a counselor who can speak your own language, how important it is when you are talking about immigrants, they try to seek psychological help or counseling, but again they go to a psychologist or a counselor who doesn't speak their language. So how important is the role of somebody, a counselor who can understand their culture and speak their language?
Yes, of course. I want to mention 4 or 5 points coming in mind regarding for this question. First, cultural understanding. Counselor who share a similar ethnic background can better understanding the culture, norms, values, and tradition that influence the client's experiences and challenges. This understanding can create a more empathetic and validating therapeutic environment. Secondly, language. Shared language can facilitate effective communications and help clients experience their thoughts and emotions more accurately. Client may feel more comfortable discussing sensitive issues in their native language. Thirdly, trust and rapport. Similar background can foster a stronger sense of trust and rapport between the counselor and the client. The client may feel that the counselor truly comprehend their perspective and struggles, leading to more open and productive therapeutic relationship. Then reducing stigma. Stigma is more important than the other factors. In some cultures, seeking mental health or support is stigmatized. Counselors from the same background can help normalize the idea of seeking help and reducing the stigma associated with mental health services. Tailored interventions, they are also very important. Counselors can develop intervention and strategies that aligns with the client's culture, values, and beliefs, increasing the effectiveness of the counseling process. This is very important. Then the last point, community resources. They are also important. Counselors with a similar ethnic background may have knowledge of community resources and support networks that can further assist clients in their integration and well-being. So all discussed points are very important for a counselor from similar ethnic background and culture and language.
Thank you very much, Natasha, for such an enlightening discussion. And we will bother you again with more specific questions. Sometimes people are seeking guidance about their psychological well being while settling down in different cultures. And it's a very, very important issue. And thank you very much for giving us your time and sharing your knowledge about the issue.
You are most welcome, Sayeda, and I will be obviously available whenever you will call me for any further session or interview.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Allah
much. Thank you
Hafiz.
so much. Allah Hafiz.